Hello everybody, this is Psychic Medium Jane Hamilton Parker. Today is the 3rd of March, the year 2023. Now I've come on here today to do some predictions. I did write all these down in January, but I've been awfully busy and one just hasn't got the time to do everything. So here we go, and I'm going to add a few more in as well. So my first one, I have to put my glasses on now, is people are asking, will there be World War III? They're talking about the planet, about the world. There's threat of it, certainly, but I do feel in the end with Russia, the Russian people will turn against Putin. They don't want war, and unfortunately all these young lads are forced into it, and if they don't go in the front line, as one would say, then they're executed. So the people will turn, because there are good people in Russia, and they will turn. Nobody wants wars. No decent human being wants wars. But unfortunately, we have got a few people in the world, and it's all about power and money and corruption. Right. Now, also, I felt a famous film star will die this year. Quite a legend and one of the Hollywood film stars, and I felt it would be female. I don't really like to name who the person is because it wouldn't be fair for the family, but I feel 100% about that. Now, I saw an airplane company being bought out and will emerge with another company. There's talk about that at the moment, I believe. I don't know if any of you would recognise Sat Sun Sin. He was a man with tremendous values and things, and put really good principles of China. People would be turning more towards him on good values, and very much, there's very uncertainty with China and Thailand. Well, let me get that correct. I should put my glasses on, shouldn't I? Yes, there's going to be, China won't want those values, but the people will want them. The National Health Service will try to filter it down, and there'll be sections that will have to go private because there won't be enough money there to continue. The National Health Service was a great institute and for everyday people, and it was a great thing that offered that everybody, but unfortunately we're being overpopularized and new people coming into the country. There's not enough services, and the doctors and the nurses work extremely hard and to keep it all together, and there's cutbacks everywhere. Well, let's hope they will sort it out, because I do believe that everybody should have a service, especially people that have paid into it for all those years with their national insurance stamps, certainly should be entitled to it. Right. Now, this is nice because you got news of a baby for Victoria Beckham's son. That's the one that married the American girl. And I just feel there'll be a lot of excitement there, and very much. I do feel the baby will bring harmony and peace to families, the two families. Now, there will be news of a new stem cell with a DNA discovered to cure some with cancer, because I believe that it will come going towards the end of the year, November, we will hear about that. India, though they have poverty in India, India will be a very wealthy country, and we will find that there'll be good opportunities there. And also I felt there'll be, we've got high-tech robots, tanks being built ready for the 21st century. And I do feel in the future I'm seeing that we will have robots that will be like half man and half robots. And goodness me, dreadful, isn't it? Now, there's lots of things going around in the media at the moment. There's a lot of, in this year 2023, we are seeing lots of stabbings, lots of corruption, lots of things that we can't understand or get our head around all these different things. There's not a very strong police force. We do need to recruit more police. We do need the old-fashioned policeman on the beat like we used to years ago, to keep an eye on things. And the trouble is, there's lots of different people from all different ethnic backgrounds are coming to England, and you know, it's just as if it's getting a bit too much. We're only a small island. Now, we do have some people that are very useful in this country. We have people from India that are great eye surgeons, heart surgeons from South Africa and that. So they're very important to welcome into the country. And I think there's going to be a lot of upheaval and disruptions amongst the Indian people. I'm talking about the Indian people that are meant to be here, that work very, very hard, doing good spiritual things, good service, and bringing something into the country, that have lived here and their fathers and forefathers. But it's the ones, the legal immigrants that are coming in at the moment, that seem to be at the top of the list, and it's going to cause very much disruptions with the Indian community, because the thing is, people will target them and think they're all the same, and it's not, because most of the Indian people that I've met are really lovely. Sikhs, Muslims, Hindu people, and good values and good old-fashioned values. But it's when you get people who feel it's their entitlement that come to this country and they should be first on the housing list. They see this country as free money, and as I say, we're only a small island and we can't really cope. Now, a lot of people will become spiritually aware this year, because it is a year of an awakening. A lot of people will go through realization. A lot of people will be turning to vegetarianism and also vegan, because the shop prices and things have got out of order and everything. And people will going back to the old ways, like growing their own vegetables and things, which isn't a bad thing, which is a good thing. We will feel that we see in the future that all the countryside is suddenly disappearing, because we're having all these new developments and everything. What worries me is all the animals, where they're going to go, like the deer, the foxes, and all the birds and everything, and they haven't thought it through. We will be getting higher sea levels, which will happen. We will see an awful lot of corrosion around the Dorset coast and around sea coast, and this is a sign of things to come. We will be getting hotter summers, and eventually, and I say eventually, going back to the next century, we're going back to the Ice Age. It's all going to revert back. As for reaching space and life on space and everything, that will happen. People are worrying about UFOs and aliens, and obviously leave them well alone. They'll come when they're ready. But there are other life forces, and that we are being observed. What worries me with all these machines like smart meters, Alexa, she's just come on, and all these different things, that all our information is being stored.
I don't know that.
No, of course you don't. But all the information is being stored and being used. And also, it's all going back to China has a lot to answer for. Now, the Chinese people that I have come for reading are very nice people and very spiritual. So we've really got to go. There's good people and bad people in any race all around the world. It's very testing times at the moment for everybody. Now, house prices, there's going to be a house price war. We will see people won't be able to afford mortgages and things like this. People will go back to the old ways. They can't even afford to rent, really, because they're extortion, the prices. And also, it's like what worries me with children in schools giving the wrong information with, I did read that there was a drag queen doing all these things, swinging on ropes and different things. We don't want that for 7-year-olds, because they're quite pure. We don't want that. What's acceptable for some people is not necessarily acceptable for others. So we've got to draw a line under these things. Now, predictions, when we see predictions, we can't stop things happening. world events because I don't have Siddhic powers like that. But what we can do is try and all pull together and help those less fortunate. And the world, nobody or no child should starve, and even animals, we should all pull together. But you know, Britain is quite charitable. They do give to other countries and they do help. Now, if I'm going back to Ukraine and things, these Ukraine people are remarkable people. They won't give in. They're very proud people. They've been traumatized. They've been through an awful lot. But that president's the right president of that country, as if he's been chosen. He won't give in to it. Why should we have people that are dictators and want to take everything and strip people away? The world is a beautiful world, but it's the people in it at the moment, and there's a lot of corruption. And I feel that if you have money, you should share and you should help others. That's why I like the Indian culture, because they all put the money in the pot and they all look after each other. And there are good people all around the world that share. And then we got the ones that wanted to take it all. That's where we get capitalism and everything that comes in. And that's what we're going to see more of. Now, I'm a great believer in herbs and plants, and we will find a discovery of a new herb that can possibly help with cancer. I'm not talking about the yew trees that you find in graveyards that they use for cancer drugs and things. I'm talking about a drug that's going to help the proteins in the body and cancers, because sometimes it goes through in patterns, the DNA. You might miss a generation of cancer, then it's the next generation. I'm a great believer in positive thinking as well. If people have got illnesses, it's like having non-attachment to them and being strong, very, very strong. And I always say to my girls, be a woman, but think like a man to get on in life, and be a tigress. In other words, be very strong and always be an individual. Even if you're married or in a relationship, be your own person. And, you know, when you go into all these shops and we see all shelves emptied of cucumbers, tomatoes, isn't that disgusting? That somebody goes along there with a trolley and they feel they've got to have 6 cucumbers and fill the trolley with tomatoes. Isn't that disgusting? It's lessons at the moment. And why is this happening? It's because the lorries can't get through, or they give up, and all these projects and that, and people blame for one another, because the farmers in England, especially going to Norfolk, have lovely produce because the soil is very good up there. They grow lovely potatoes and things like this. So, you know, there is enough food to go around and that. And this is, you know, sort of scaremongering really in the supermarkets. And have you noticed the prices? It's not just going up by 5p, it's going up by 75 pence and everything. Well, it's simple, isn't it, housewives? Don't buy it. And what are they going to do with all of it? They'll have to reduce it. But that's why I think it's good if you can eat or grow fresh vegetables and eat something like that. Because I think here in this country, you put up with far too much. We have no trust in all the politicians at the moment that's running England, because they're all very well and they want your votes, but they don't deliver, do they? None of them, to be honest. And this is why, and another thing I feel with the royal family, King Charles III, who's going to be a very good king, and he's filtering out the hanger-oners, because us taxpayers are paying for that. So that's a great thing to do. And, you know, and what I like about him, he does care about the environment, and William is following his footsteps. And I feel that, you know, with the royal family, you've got to set by example, really. And a lot of them haven't, have they? So, you know, it's turning points. And as I said before, I felt Prince William will be the last king, because I see the royal family going down like a pack of cards there. It'll be time yet, a little time. Now, there's a lot of new drugs going to be developed that I see, and we will have side effects of them because there's cause and effect. But there will be some good news coming out of that for people that's going to help people. And that we do need to do a lot of research into all these different drugs, because once again with drug companies, it's all about making money. And, you know, I think the thing is, at the end of the day, we can all pull together. Now, I predict the world is changing so radically. The world in our time is not the world that we really want. The world that we want is to be kind, compassionate, have love, not greed, not materialism, not killing people for the sake of killing people. The year started off with tragedy and very sad, and it will get better. It will get better. We're looking forward to summer. Spring's not far away now. The daffodils are coming up, and definitely we're going to see lots of changes and everything. But what worries me is with the knife culture that we're seeing more and more in London. That's why it's important that we are aware of all these things that's happening. Karmically, it is test, and we're being tested. So you had to be strong, very strong, because every thought that you give out has got to be positive energy, positive thoughts, because the whole planet and consciousness is run on energy. Even trees have an energy, tree spirits have an energy. Even cows telepathically and pick up. I've been watching Jeremy Clarkson and everything, and people going back to the old ways and people being close community. And what I didn't really like is to see cows with the horns burnt out and their ears being pierced and everything. So I couldn't watch that. And it does seem that Jerry Clarkson, I feel he's got a lot of compassion in his soul, and I just feel farming isn't easy. Really isn't easy, and there's lots of, and I think I found the community that he was trying to bring together and offer jobs and that, they were anti-him, really anti-him, which I didn't feel was right, but then, I suppose it makes great television. You always get jealousy, don't you, when you see people successful and get on, and it does happen, but it's all test and that. So anybody that's negative around us, step aside. We don't need that in our aura. We don't need that. Now, the predictions happen that I see, and they come to me, and then I have to write them down. So I don't tend to look in newspapers or listen to the news. It's what I feel is happening, because your predictions can be distorted. So it's best to get what you get, an inner view, what you see in your third eye, that you see these predictions. Challenges, yes. People are worrying about a third war and to be nuclear. Don't worry about that, because the more you're worrying, the more you're going to attract these things you see. And at the end of the day, it's all about pulling together. I don't like any form of guns or killing whatsoever. And I just feel that it could be a better and beautiful world if we all pulled together. Now, people are going to go in the future a lot away from television. They're going to go more on YouTube, and there's going to be more things that in the future I felt that people dreams, they can reflect on the walls and everything like that, because the electric cars and things like that, they're okay for a certain amount, but we're going to go forward now with different things happening, or technology happening. So do we really want to be in a world that's controlled? Because this is what's happening to everybody. Higher petrol prices, higher food. That's one form of control. We can change that. We've got time to change it. We've got time to change the planet. We've got time. It's an awakening. This year is an awakening. So wake up and see what's happening around you. It's all about control. So spiritual people have come to the earth plane in the material world to show you the way. We've got great gurus, we've got spiritual people, very good people doing healing, very good clairvoyant people, very good people that do things like speech therapy, helping autism, and a lot of good things like that, and pulling together. Now, I won't waffle on too long, but I will come on to the second part and do other predictions. As I said, these predictions were done in January. We're now March the 3rd, 2023. And as I say, I will do my other predictions, but the other predictions I will do is take each country one by one and then I try and do all what I foresee in those countries and what comes to me. And as I say, look after yourselves. Every day is a blessing. Every day when we wake up is a beautiful day. The world really is just being the world you want, being a good world, being a better place, be loving, being with the right people that care about you, that want to be with you. Now, Craig and I have to adjust this. Oh, technology again. Now, Craig and I, as you know, we have our own channel. I have my channel, Craig has his channel, Coffee with Craig, on YouTube. And we have the Craig and Jane show tonight. It's on YouTube. It starts at 7 p.m. every Friday. So we're going to go through what subjects, and you can join there. We have patrons that join there. That enables us to help people. Out of that foundation, we've paid for a person to have a heart operation in India. We've bought cows for poor families. We feed an orphanage. So we try to do everything we possibly can, but we can only do a certain amount. So do tune in if you can. You might, and we can answer you, because Matt, who's in the control room, puts the questions come up, and we're only on air for an hour, so it goes as far as Hawaii, well, all over the world actually. But thank you for joining me today. And I will do a second part of predictions. My next predictions is going to do worldwide and countries and leaders and what to expect. Anyway, this woman has a lot to do. So this woman's going to say goodbye, take care, love you all, ciao.